Hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Journal Entry. This is the 2024 version of Journal Entry, and we're going to do some predictions. So I guess it's the thing you do. You have to set goals for yourself and make predictions. It's really important. So I did write some things out. So if I do, I have to stay on track because there's a lot going on for 2024. And as you can tell, 2024, there's always going to be more collecting, sorting, hauls, reviews. All of that is going to continue. One of the things I would really like to do with the channel, there are a couple things you'll see, do a few more shorts. I think I've talked about this in the last video if you saw that I do want to become better at some of the colors and naming and just become a little bit better, more of a subject matter expert on the brick itself, because as I kind of gravitate towards not just collecting but doing also mocks and things like that, I want to be able to at least showcase and have some knowledge of the brick. And it's getting really complicated. I mean, just look at how many different variables. There's so many new modern parts. And then as people have seen modern parts, if you're just getting into it, maybe you forget about some of the old parts. So a couple things for the channel overall. I had a really solid year in terms of thank you for those that have joined the channel over the years. Appreciate your support. There's over 400 subscribers today, so if you haven't, just do it. Hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it. Hit a like. It really helps me out, and if more than anything, I want to continue building the community and love your commentary. So let me know in the comments, what are your predictions? What are your goals for 2024? I'd love to hear them. And maybe in the next journal entry, I'll start doing things where we go back on some of the commentary, give shouts out, and kind of let's have discussion. I love discussing things. Because I have to do it virtually. There's only so often that I run into AFOLs in the wild or go to brick conventions. Those only happen so often. Otherwise, it's mainly my family making fun of me for making these videos. So I appreciate your interaction. I need the interaction. Let's do it. So that's one of the goals, more interaction, and I need to get better with my content. I definitely know that. This is just me sitting down and yapping, so I want to continue to do a little bit better. You know, maybe change up some editing styles. Again, I don't do a whole lot of editing. It's one take, and I just kind of ramble and go for it, which is kind of fun. At the same time, it's unpredictable. So it's nice when I kind of write things out a little bit, so I at least stay a little bit on track. So again, I had on my list understanding the brick, becoming a little bit more of a subject matter expert. Then I wrote in all caps, more Star Wars, more Castle, and more space. So if you love Star Wars, this is the place. This is the place to subscribe. I can talk all day long about Star Wars. There's going to be gobs of more content coming in the Star Wars universe. Maybe even a movie coming in. Well, it's probably more like 2025, 2026. But there's lots of content there. There's lots of great sets coming, and I love to review, and those are kind of my mocks, are kind of more in the Star Wars realm, so more to come on mocks. Castle, 100%. Love, my original love of Lego really came from Castle, so I really want to get into Castle. But first, I do want to finish. I'm kind of on a space classic Futron, Blacktron. I'm in that space mode right now. I'm not a huge fan of some of the newer the city space sets that are coming out. There may be one or two of those that I dabble in if they're on discount or something like that. I just don't get the original classic vibes. I really love those, but more space to come, and there's going to be some fun ones like the Futron monorail and others that you're going to want to stay tuned in. So again, if you love Star Wars, Castle, and space, and even if you love Pirate, maybe I should throw Pirate in there. I didn't have that on my list, but Pirate kind of is that like extension out of Castle. It's kind of that, next evolution. There'll be a little bit of Pirate. Don't worry. Maybe I'll make I think September is Talk Like a Pirate month or something, or there's a day there, so maybe I'll do something along those lines. Then from a Lego perspective, other than the fact that I just need to keep sorting and getting organized, like that's just a constant struggle. I think that's a year-to-year goal that just doesn't change. But getting into the mocks is something I really want to do. I'm hoping to be able to make Brick World Chicago. So if you are able to attend that, you might see me there. It's a pretty fun, and it's a good goal to have. And I want to think small, but then think big at the same time. In terms of mocks, I've kind of always kind of done too big of, almost making that full city that takes forever kind of thing that you just never are happy with. And I need to work on making smaller mocks and then maybe building up from there. So that is something I really want to do with the channel. And then maybe even some small things like modifications on a microfighter, or maybe I have a couple ships and microfighters, and using some of my figures. Because I'm slowly collecting figs, and many of them don't have necessarily ships that are built for them. So that, at least from an official standpoint, so that lends itself to making some mocks. I think I've always talked about, for the microfighters, is doing an ABC squadron. So or an alphabet scout squadron. So A through Z having a ship. And then I'd love to make maybe like a cool little habitat for the microfighter to live in, because it would be fun to display my microfighters in some fashion. Ben Brick Designs is kind of the aspirational. He's got such a great microfighter collection, so something along those lines. And then last but not least, personally, I think somewhat this year, 2023, was not the best year for getting in shape for me. I feel like some of it's because I'm just when you're sitting down in the studio and building, but I feel like the work-life balance plus my, doing gaming plus building, and then, I do play pickleball. That's been my main source of exercise, but I really need to get in shape. And so there won't something you won't see on the channel necessarily, but in my journal entries, maybe I'll kind of keep that as a mission to kind of give kind of an update. And that's why I encourage. It's one of those things. It's hard to kind of go all in on physical and mental health, and all this building, and have a lot of fun. It's like, how do you do it all, I guess. So I'll still be continuing to kind of work on that. And that is it for my predictions. Oh, my other predictions is just lots of clones and battle packs, a lot of collecting, a lot of. The other thing I wanted to do is I want to make sure that I sell enough on Mercari to keep my battle pack advent calendar / figures that I missed out on collection going, because this 2023 was a great year, and I want to keep that going and do even more. So that is it for my goals, my predictions, what I'd love to do. It would be great by the end of the year. It probably won't happen in 2024, but it's possible. It's very possible to, hit that 1,000 subscriber threshold in 4,000 hours. I know it's kind of crazy. It's not something that I'm really kind of focused on, but now that I'm in the 400, I could see it getting to, once you get to that 500-600, and if I do more streaming, I think that that'll lend itself. And I think depending on how Brick World Chicago plays out, if I'm able to attend, because I feel like that's a boost, right? Because folks, you start building momentum for Brick World Chicago, and if I'm around 500 to 600 subscribers at that point, and I'm doing some live streams and things like that, and you never know what could happen. So the way I look at it, it's just a fun way to continue to journalize my collecting journey and share it. So hopefully you get a lot out of it. I certainly do, and we'll have to catch you. It is now 2024, so it'd be after today, it'll be day 2. Oh, the other prediction is that the Packers probably aren't going to make the playoffs, although I'm in Packers gear because they're playing today. It's their last chance. They're a young team. I feel like they're out of gas, but you never know. They could get lucky here, beat the Vikings, and then they have to, I forget who else they play at the end of the season. Oh, the Bears, go figure. Then they have to play the hot Bears, and you never know what could happen. You never know. It could be the Packers playoffs. Maybe this sweater comes back. Otherwise, I'm retiring it if they lose. And that's it for 2024. I feel like the Packers They had a good solid year, probably better than I kind of expected. Jordan Love, is he for real? A little bit. I think he's shown some flashes of huge potential, and I love the receiving core that they have. They just need to stay healthy. But that's it for this episode. I appreciate you, and we'll catch you in 2024. Bye for now.